Ability power, I know. It's a stat not usually built on Mercy, but it can become one of the most powerful if used correctly. Hi everyone, I'm PirateWalnut, and here's how to build AP on Mercy. Let's start with the powers, since building AP changes your playstyle a lot. This build revolves around using the power the Wambulance, and by default, this power may look unappealing, but can be amazing in the right hands. The best way of describing this power is through one of Mercy's major perks in the normal mode, Flash Heal. For those who do not know what Flash Heal does, Flash Heal is an ability that allows Mercy to give burst healing to whoever she is beaming. The Wambulance is a bit different since instead of a consistent heal after about a second, it is based on two variables: the distance you fly between you and your target when you hit GA, and the amount of AP you build. While Flash Heal can be more consistent, you can spam the Wambulance multiple times, which can allow you to push damage boosts much more aggressively, making your team very annoying to deal with due to the consistent burst healing and damage boost. Even with that out of the way, some may ask, why the hell should I go AP when I could go Threads of Fate? For one, building AP gives you a lot of pocketing value. While something like Threads of Fate can help a team all around, Wambulance can make someone basically unstoppable. Another thing is that Wambulance can help mitigate a lot of burst damage present in Stadium. Characters like Freya, Juno, and so many more have so many ways to give massive amounts of damage in just a second, and Wambulance can help keep your team healthy enough to survive. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the build. For round 1, we choose Wambulance for AP, since that will make the most money early game compared to something like Crepuscular Circle and Renaissance. Because we are not building into weapon power, we won't opt for Threads of Fate, since Wambulance is in my opinion the AP version of Threads. For items, we get Power Playbook for early ability power, Armored Vest for survivability, and Compensator for weapon power. Getting weapon power early game is important mainly because Wambulance is a bit lackluster without one special item, which we will get in round 2. And the choices for AP items after Power Playbook are not that great, so opting for more weapon power ensures that you can make enough money for your power spike in round 2 and stabilizes your early game. For round 1, stick to using bunny hops to activate Wambulance as it will give you the shortest GA cooldown. I mainly reserve slingshots only if I'm traveling very far, but do note that your cooldown will be longer, so doing a bunny hop to one person then flying back will allow you to heal much more frequently. Your main goal is to stay alive, get cash by healing and supporting your team, and ultimately make 10k by the end of round 1. Winning the first round is great, but at the bare minimum focus on making 10k. In round 2, you must always rush Angelic Acrobatics. This item gives you GA movement speed, but the big important thing is that your cooldown for GA will start when you crouch or jump. This makes slingshotting way more valuable and gives you the quickest cooldown for GA, while also allowing you to create distance after flying to an ally for stronger procs of Wambulance. Be willing to sell everything to get this, cause this is a must-have item, but generally you will sell Compensator first, then Armored Vest, and then finally Power Playbook if necessary. If at the worst you have to sell everything for this item, you'll still output more healing than getting AP since you'll be able to activate Wambulance more frequently. If you have extra cash, and opt for weapon items like Weapon Grease to help you get your Val quicker, or if you can buy rare ability items, picking up custom stock can provide a lot of stats that can help you make even more money. If you're able to buy custom stock as well as Angelic Acrobatics, then you are basically Jeff Bezos, so don't expect that. A good run usually looks like this, where I only need to sell Compensator for Angelic Acrobatics. For round 2 onwards, always look to slingshot to get the most distance from your team after you fly to them and to always get the shortest cooldown. While you can practice with super jump unless I need to get to high ground to be in a better position, I still tend to avoid super jumping since you will be easier for the enemy to track, especially against teams with multiple hit scans. The usual GA I do in game is GAing to my target and then turning around to slingshot myself back to safety like this. Basically, just stay mobile and keep supporting your team. Now before I get into the next rounds, I do want to do some Overwatch myth busting. Specifically with some of the epic ability items. One thing is figuring out if Wambulance healing counts as ability healing, since there are some ability items that have effects tied to healing allies, and through testing these items with the same amount of AP and cooldown reduction, I can confidently say that Wambulance does not count as ability healing, since Guardian Angel as an ability does not heal on its own, while an ability that does heal on its own like Kiriko Suzu does work with these items. So if you're wondering why you won't see Biotech Maximizer and Catalytic Crystal, that is why. Now, back to the build. On round 3, we get our next power and I take Crepuscular Circle. This power is just beyond good and will help keep you relevant as everyone begins to scale. Crepuscular Circle does affect your GAs if you have prefer beam target or prefer phasing target on for GA, so do make sure to aim where you fly while you Valk. For items, I recommend picking up Nano Cola for lots of AP at the minimum. Once again, we are looking to get around 10k cash. Best case scenario is getting Nano Cola and Multi-Tool for 30 AP and some cooldown reduction. Some alternatives to Multi-Tool is taking long distance wings if you are on a longer map like Ilios Ruins and Redwood Dam, since you'll be able to utilize the extra GA range this item provides. If the map is more close quarters, then I recommend getting custom socks since the extra weapon power can help you get Valk a tad quicker. To keep it simply, try to prioritize building as much AP as you can and buy items accordingly. For round 4, I recommend Numerical Fusion Drive as you'll start to need survivability, and this item is perfect as it gives AP, armor, and armor regen whenever you use an ability, which we will be using a lot. If you can't buy Numerical Fusion Drive, then look to buy rare AP items like Custom Stock, Multi-Tool, and Long Distance Wings, and paired with Vitality for armor. If you have 11k and want even more healing, then purchase Mark of the Kitsune, which can help give you more healing whenever you use an ability based on how much AP you have. This item gets activated a lot, giving you so much more healing on top of Wambulance, where you could literally keep a tank up for so long. If you can't afford this, then don't sweat it and just buy Numerical Fusion Drive. For round 5, we take Renaissance as our next power. Main reason why is that this item has a lot of synergy with Crepuscular Circle, and I find that having this perk over First Responder in round 5 provides my team a lot more value with the extra Valk. This also gives you flexibility in your build since you may not always want or need First Responder in future rounds. For items, we look to purchase the aforementioned Mark of the Kitsune. Especially since we should have a good amount of AP, this item will provide a lot of powerful burst healing on top of Wambulance. Do make sure you are flicking to Heal Beam when you have this ability, especially since the amount of burst healing you can provide allows you to hold damage boost more aggressively, so just make sure you aren't forgetting to activate this item after every GA. You can also look to split your healing by flying to one ally for Wambulance while pocketing and healing another with Mark of the Kitsune. This can be especially good if you don't need as much healing on one person and can help make sure you are healing effectively, and is usually done when you are pocketing a DPS and still want to support your tank. If you purchase this item in round 4, then make sure to buy Numerical Fusion Drive instead. This build by round 5 is generally very powerful and you have hit a very big spike once you are able to have Mark of the Kitsune, Numerical Fusion Drive, Angelic Acrobatics, and supporting AP items. Look to damage boost as much as possible as your burst healing should allow you to be more aggressive. By round 6, you have 2 choices in what to prioritize. If you feel that your healing is enough, then look to buy Chain Evoker to buff your damage boost and give you more survivability. This is usually my choice since Mark of the Kitsune and Wambulance should cover everything you need by now, especially if you have a more durable tank like Orisa. If instead you feel that you need more healing, then look to purchase Iridescent Iris for AP and cooldown reduction, Super Flexor for stacking AP and weapon power, or Champion's Kit for raw AP if you can afford it. I would like to mention 3-tap Tommy Gun, which is a good cheap alternative if you can't afford Chain Evoker or the mentioned AP items, but this does require a more pistol forward playstyle to get the full value out of this item since this buffs weapon damage, so if you don't like that, then try to prioritize Chain Evoker at the minimum. Best case scenario is your build looks like this with 4 epic items and 2 rares, with the main items you should always have being Angelic Acrobatics, Mark of the Kitsune, Numerical Fusion Drive, Nano Cola, Multi-Tool, and whatever epic item you just bought in round 6. Round 7 is endgame and you have 2 powers to choose from, either Distortion to help buff your damage boost, which can help you push damage boost even more with the added lifesteal, or First Responder to help you get reses off if you are struggling to get them off. I personally lean towards picking Distortion more since this synergizes better with my playstyle of holding damage boost as long as possible and trying to heal only with Wambulance and Mark of the Kitsune, but First Responder can be viable, especially since we are building into AP, making the overhealth after resing a lot more noticeable compared to picking this power when building weapon power. For items, I look to sell Multi-Tool first and replacing it with Champion's Kit. Then, if I have enough money to replace Nano Cola, then I purchase Iridescent Iris to finish the build with more cooldown reduction, which will help me activate Wambulance more. If I can't purchase Iridescent Iris, then I do one of 2 things. I just keep Nano Cola for the raw AP stats, or look to purchase Super Flexor for stacking AP. That can give more than Nano Cola if you have full stacks. This can be risky since there may be times where you may not get full stacks, and this does force you off of damage boost more in order to keep your AP stacks from going away. So if you want consistency, then keep Nano Cola. If instead you choose First Responder, then you can sell Chain Evoker for res rangefinder if you need the extra range to get reses off or against CC like Lucio or Ashe. I try to get at minimum 80 AP, then fill item slots as accordingly. Now with everything set, you have your full Mercy build. Look to spam GAs and push damage boost as much as possible to get your Val quickly and win. Just make sure to still play safe since bad positioning can be detrimental to you. When I was first making this build, I was honestly expecting this build to be complete trash, but honestly, I'm an AP believer now. While I do think weapon power is a bit easier to get value out of, AP can be an alternative option, especially into teams with lots of burst damage, or if you know you're only pocketing one person. And depending on how Overwatch balances certain items, AP builds may rise in popularity. Now that is how you build AP Mercy. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the build in the comments, and if you try this build yourself. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and until next time, bye bye!